Hi guys, how is everybody? I hope everything's okay here. I noticed that my OBS was doing that thing that it loves to do, which is, not work when it matters. Oh, happy Sunday, happy day to all of you commanders. How is everybody? Yes, this is commanders only. That's correct. Later on, we will do the Patreon exclusive, the full Patreon exclusive, and I think we're going to play Kerbal there. But for those of you that are new to Commanders, welcome. Thank you, literally, thank you so much for everything you guys do. I realized actually just today I was watching a Fraser Kane video from Universe Today, and I realized he kind of nailed down why Patreon is so awesome. He said, being able to produce educational YouTube videos for free that anyone can learn, anyone, can literally learn rocket science now for freaking free on the internet is a pretty amazing thing. And I just want to remind you guys that is because of you. That is because of your support. That people like me, like Fraser Kane, like all these other people are able to do the work we do. And all in all, that's really pretty amazing. So, yeah. Trevor says there's no launch, so it won't go down. That's awesome. Oh, yeah. TechFin, how's it going? Oh, Monday morning for those of you in the future. That's right, Allison. How's it going? Yeah. So how is everyone doing? What's new in your guys' life? How's things going now that we don't have an aerospec video that we need to work on? Oh, that was a massive. I need to stop doing those. The problem is, so with the Raptor engine, basically it goes like this. In order to explain the Raptor engine, you have to understand cycles. Like that's the thing you need to understand in order to put into context the Raptor engine, right? Otherwise, talking about the Raptor engine and why it's special just doesn't really make sense, right? It's just kind of like just spewing a bunch of stuff at somebody. So you need to understand cycles to understand the Raptor engine. Aerospike engine, you have to understand nozzles and expansion ratios in order for the Aerospike engine to work. So in order to do that, it takes a long time. And I don't think there's actually too many more videos that will require a big old fat rundown like that. Yeah, and yeah, well, thanks, guys. That's Austin. You're probably sick of saying water. Yeah, on to the next big project. So that's what that's what I talked to you guys about. That's what this is for. Is just to kind of give you guys a rundown on what I want to work on next. What's kind of pulling at me right now? Because you guys know that I have this list that's literally. When I say never ending, I mean it's literally never ending, especially when I end up doing things like the Raptor video that take 3 months and, I try to pop off. It's funny because you can tell the difference between, I can pop out a video pretty quick these days. Like when I did even things like the rocket rolling video or the two fin starship video and or Rocket Lab recovery video, I can knock those out easily in a week. Like, if I worked normal human hours, I could do it, in a week. And I think when I'm working really hard to try to squeeze something out, I do it in 3 or 4 days. Because I can script that normally in a day easily because the research is just kind of, I don't need to do in-depth research. It's those in-depth research things that take so long. I'm hoping that the pollution video doesn't turn into that. Yeah, I think, what's next? Ghost Rider, basically, yeah, the weight off my chest really did when I published it that morning, Friday morning, and I actually, for once in my life, didn't sit there and obsess over anything. I actually just published it, and I went back to sleep, which is crazy. I never do that. And because I stayed up until probably, I don't remember, 2 or 3 that night, just working on a few other things, getting the article finished, and things like that. Which, by the way, I probably need to, Allison or somebody like that, or John Eric, if you guys are around, I probably could use someone to read through the article and edit it really quick because I'm sure it's awful. That was the last thing that I did is just try to get that finished up, and then I woke up at 8:50, hit publish, went back to sleep, and then that's very, very unusual. And then I slept probably another hour and a half, and yeah, I mean I think I stayed up for a little bit, but yeah. So it was literally a sigh of relief. But next, so let's see. Austin, I don't flight test. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Innocent Raptor, you're the best. Yeah, I think it's decent. I don't think the article is horrible. But there's probably just some things that I overlooked, and I didn't even read through the whole thing. So there's a chance that I, messed up, like left in something that shouldn't have been in there or something. Um, Rob Balder, really curious about that process. Is it essentially you wearing all hats? Yes. I still do literally everything. And I'm working on, so this guy, Michael, you've probably seen him in some of my tweets and stuff like that. Michael Bowden, he's been shooting with me occasionally. Like he went down, he shot the Starship interview with Elon. He shot the Aerospike with me. He is an awesome videographer, but he's a really good editor too. And he's a really good animator. He hasn't really done any of the actual animations for me yet. And that's one of those things we're trying to figure out the right balance, because how do I have him animate like expansion ratios and all these things that I already have in my head, that have taken me months to research? How do I have him animate that when like that's part of my job? We're trying to figure that out. So what I think might happen in the future would be I hire him to edit a video, or he might join the team basically, and help shoot, edit, and just kind of do some little odds and ends. So, oh, that's right. I did want to see that, the flight test thing. I had other people tell me about that. Yeah, basically research has been now delegated out, where that's the beauty of like crowdsourcing and what Patreon's able to accomplish. And our Discord channel is like, some of those rabbit holes can last forever. Like you can go down a rabbit hole for hours, and chasing each one of those rabbit holes can just be a horrible waste of time for one person to try to do. So that's where the research has been, having people help do all of that. And not only that, but even, it's almost like I realized this too. Andy Weir, when he wrote The Martian, it kind of became crowdsourced. And because of that, it became a way better product than it ever could have been not crowdsourced. You know what I mean? And I realized that's kind of in a sense almost what we're doing too now. We're making it so that people get to add their little snippets of information, their little memories and recollections. Like, oh, remember 1962? They had this project. Oh yeah, I remember that. And I think that's super, super cool. So, let's see. British Unknown Tim, what's your plans for high quality video output for future? Are you ever going to join an early access project, Nebula, like Joe, or Floatplane? I don't know what those mean. Early access project. I don't know what that. Explain what that means, and then I will tell you. So my plans are, I want to increase. It's not about increasing output. It's more about a little bit increasing output. I would really like to have at least 2 or 3 produced videos a month. And right now, lately, it's been 1 a month. Like almost the past 3 months has been about 1 a month. A lot of that is because of things like Starhopper, going down there. Let's see, Starhopper, I've spent basically a month in Texas in the past 3 months, right? So that doesn't help, because it's just, even though I do work while on the road, it's just not nearly as efficient, not even close to as efficient as working at home. So that always, that sucks a lot of time up. And then just, the research with the Aerospike video really did last 3 months. I realized I opened that script, I think, at the end of June. So more than 3 months. And that's a long time. That's a lot of time to spend on one video. But that's why we're able to pop off those quick ones. And my goal is to make it so I'm at least doing 2 or 3 a month, produce videos. And I think the best way I can do that is by me focusing more on the scripting, shooting it really quickly, and then having Michael do the first run of the dialogue cut and stuff like that, and start pasting stuff together right away. And then I basically go through and do the final touches on it, right? Because there's a lot of stuff that he could do on his own, but then probably things that I need to just finesse a little bit. Maybe some of the animations, maybe some of the extra B-roll that I'm really familiar with, because I've watched, like, that's the weird thing, is I have this intimate knowledge of my library now of, like when we're pulling up an example of braze welding cooled tubes, I know that I have this documentary downloaded on my computer that shows the RL-10 being braze welded, and I know almost exactly where it is in the documentary because I'm so familiar with all that footage that I can cull through it. Then that's the type of stuff that probably will still require my hands-on, if that makes sense. Let's see. Let's see. The whole early access. I don't know. I want to do that, but the problem is, like, you guys kind of just get to see clips and see all this stuff ahead of time, and you do typically get early access. You know, it might only be a day or two sometimes, but I just feel like some of that stuff to me actually feels more disingenuous, where it feels almost paywall, and I want it to not be a paywall thing about like getting access out there or content out there, especially when there's time sensitive things like Starship 2 fins needed to be out right around the event. It made sense, and if I gave it a week early, it basically just mean I delayed the public viewing of it a week, and what good does that do for anybody, really? You know, does that give that exclusivity to the people that are paying? Does that really benefit the whole project as you know, the whole channel and the educational aspect and getting people to start thinking about, you know, the aerodynamic effects while the presentation's going on, et cetera, et cetera? I would rather it be, and in my opinion, we're all, like, my whole goal, and if you can't tell in the past year, it's really been to focus on the quality, like in every aspect of the word quality. I mean quality of research, quality of fact checking, quality of, you know, the script really being polished and really being a storyline and an arc that actually like gets your train of thought going to be, you know, like with the Aerospec video is a perfect example, is getting you to think about the problems, and in order to understand the problems, you have to understand the solutions. It's this whole like train of thought in order to make it so by the time we actually get to the problems and all the numbers of the Aerospike, you have all the context, right? There's a lot of work that goes into that, and I like that, you know, you guys are there to read the scripts, put your words into the scripts, tell me what doesn't work for you, what does work for you, and then I take I'm learning how to find the middle ground, because lots of times someone might have a really extreme opinion on something, or maybe be more conservative about something that I want to do, or maybe, you know, whatever. I'm learning the art of taking all the feedback and kind of like taking it all and finding that plot right in the middle and trying to make a product that represents all of that, right? Because I feel like that's a good representation of the overall audience, right? Is when we get all that feedback. So that's, to me, like, it's more important that we focus on the quality and not necessarily about trying to add features for people, but the people that believe in the quality of work. You guys know what it's like. You're here when I script and stuff. You know, yeah, you get it, and I feel like most people do get it, and they want that to be the priority too. So, yeah, you guys are pretty much getting beta release, exactly. And so that's just kind of the way I look at it. But let me tell you what I'm working on. These are kind of the videos that I want to have done in November. So I told you guys I was going to go to Sweden, and if Ol Matthias, if you're, I still don't exactly know, I don't know how to say your name exactly, I'm sorry. In Sweden, though, I told everyone I was probably going to go to Sweden. Here's the deal. When I booked the tickets with my friend to Europe, we got tickets round trip for $350. And like, we both just jumped on it because we're both photographers. This is my friend Neil. Neil helped me with like the Boeing spacesuit. No, that was Michael. What did Neil help me with? Neil's helped me with some stuff before. Neil helped me shoot a wedding in Ethiopia like 4 years ago. 3 years ago? I don't know. We've done some stuff together. Neil's helped with a couple things. He helped me shoot the Tesla commercial. That's Neil. And he was like, hey, Tim, I saw these deals for $350 tickets to Europe. And I'm like, let's do it. So we just kind of hopped on it. And then when I was there, I was like, you know, maybe I should just pop up to Sweden and make work out of it. And then I realized, like, I'm creating more work on something that I don't think is that important yet. Like, I think that scale solar system video could be awesome someday, but, like, not right now. I don't need to worry about that right now. But here's what I do need to worry about. I think the pollution video is going to be a very, very good one. And it lines up with a collaboration that I might take up, but I also might not worry about. I'll see kind of how it goes. But the other one that I really want to do as well is Starship Abort. That's another one. I also have to do a video. This is you guys know I don't really do like any sponsored content really. But I maybe do like one a year if it's something that really lines up with everything. And this one did line up. This stays here. This is literally, I have an NDA signed, so you literally can't talk about it. But it's one I've been working with for a long time with Hilton Doubletree and the Doubletree cookie, because they're actually that's going to be the first thing ever baked in space. And they're sending up a 0G oven and all this cool stuff. It's never happened before. So I'm doing a video about like cooking in space and why that matters and why we haven't done it. And that's been something I've been working on in the background that's unscripted because I've been talking to experts. That's why I was in Johnson Space Center after Starship. Yeah, so what I'm going to, so that has to be out like early November. And then the other, so there's 3 videos already that I want ASAP. And then the other one that I need to have out before Black Friday, I want to do this year's, what's it called? Oh, best gifts for space nerds like 2019, and do another like review of cool products. That'll be really easy. I can shoot that in like a day or 2, but that's just kind of fun, and I think it's really really fun leading up to the holiday season, and I want to have that out before like Black Friday. Yeah. Wait, why? Yeah, let's see. Yes, Innocent Raptor. I'm sorry. I will be. Yeah, I'll still be doing that Vienna meetup. I don't know if people are planning to come to Vienna. That seems. I don't know how hard that is, but yeah. How's it going, Oleg? And hey, Ol, how's it going? Ol, is that how you say it? Do you just say Ol Matthias? Is that it? Just boop, nice and easy? Because I read it all the time, but yeah. It's critical to optimize the fuel mixture of oxygen and alcohol. Some great info from the Mythbusters and video scripts. Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about, Ghost Rider. Great info from the Mythbusters and video scripts. Huh? Vienna meetup will be on Thursday. I haven't really found a place yet, but I mentioned it on Twitter the other night. Yeah, that's what sucks. Like, I feel so bad when, you know, I'll be like, hey, here's where I'm going. Because, you know, I'm not going to, like, and people are like, hey, can you pop down to France or can you pop over to Italy? Can you, like, no, I can't really. Like, it's a lot easier for me to have a place where I'm going to be, and then people come if they're within a reasonable distance, and I'll leave it up to people to determine what's a reasonable distance to there. But, yeah, it just kind of depends. We'll see you, K9. Yeah, so there's the 4 videos that I need to have done in November. The baking in space one's it's halfway done already. We're just gonna kind of do some stuff. That's awesome. Ghost Rider, yes, I need to do that. You're right. Midwest meetup. As you know, I just literally haven't even been home. Like, home's like where I'm. I want to do the Midwest meetup, and I'm waiting. Now I'm waiting because I'm supposed to do a thing with what's their names? Cosmic Perspective, which is Ryan Chalinsky and Mary Liz Bender. They are a couple that does this really cool art project, and they're traveling. And so we were planning to do the meetup around that so that they could kind of benefit with a core audience that would, you know, resonate with what they're doing. And I think you guys would like that. I would like that. And so now the Midwest meetup is planned around that. And so hopefully we'll have a little more leeway time. Because last time I think I was just like, oh, I think we're going to do it in the week. And then, like, they had to back out because it was so last minute. So hopefully we'll give, like, multiple weeks notice when we actually are ready to do a Midwest meetup. Oh, I pop into Moab all the time. I'm in Moab, like, once a year. I love Moab. That's, like, my happy place. Yeah, so that's kind of the rundown there. Let's see what else is there. There's also a video that I might be doing still. Remember the one that I've been kind of teasing you guys forever. It's supposed to happen with the in-flight abort, like literally at the in-flight abort, and I need to really nail down and figure out if it's still feasible. It's a huge undertaking, huge undertaking. And I'm still just kind of playing out whether or not it's worth it. Because it's a lot of time. It's a lot of money. It's like an insane amount of money. Like my savings account amount of money to try to do what I am wanting to do. But it'd be awesome. Innocent Raptor. Let's see. Hey, that's pretty sweet, British. No, that's pretty close. Or that's pretty reasonable. I love Europe. That's crazy. Innocent Raptor, South Germany. So here's the deal. I'm basically driving, without disclosing too much personal information and you guys stalking me, I'm basically driving, not that you would do that, but I'm basically driving from Vienna. We're going over to Neuschwanstein and then coming back, basically. That's what we ended up doing. We were going to go to Prague and Budapest, or however you say it. But wait, Prague and Budapest. But we decided both of us really like castles, so we're just gonna do like a castle tour. So if someone's near that too, maybe it would work out to do a meetup near Neuschwanstein. You could come to us. That's pretty South Germany. I don't know if that's that much closer to Vienna. I guess it is. It's probably like, 5 or 6 hours, I guess. Sorry, in my head, like, close is 20 hours, because I drive 20 hours all the time, and I just think, oh, that's close. And in Europe, it's like, you're right next to each other, but I know that it is not that way for everybody else. So I'll probably be doing that. And Rob wants to know any info on my camera and mic setup. Yeah, right now I'm running a Blackmagic Studio 4K little studio camera, and it has an SDI out that goes into a Blackmagic recorder deck here for the 4K stuff. And then I'm using this is relatively new. I switched to this mic. It's the classic SM7B, which is just kind of the classic podcasting mic. I really like it, especially in this kind of loud room. This room's a little too live. It helps with that a lot. It's a nice narrow field mic. And the other thing about that too. Oh yeah, so I do have on order, and I ordered it forever ago. It's still not in yet, but I do have a 6K camera coming, a Z cam that I'm going to actually start shooting my videos in 6K and then editing it into a 5K timeline. You guys know me, I'm all about increasing quality, and I know 5K might be a little overkill, but I have 5K monitors. A lot of people have like Retina iMacs and other 5K monitors. And I would love to see stuff in 5K. So I'm going to shoot it in 6K so I can do that punch-in that I do and not lose any resolution. And that's going to be great. And even just like, I don't know, having clean launch videos in 6K and stuff like that will be really cool. Just constantly trying to up that game. I want that really bad. It's not a Red, it's a Z cam. So I already have 2 of those Z cams, those little, and I just fell in love with them. They're incredible. The bodies are like $2,000. They're really, that's just a really inexpensive body for the image quality they put out. And the 6K comes with an EF mount, and it's only $3,000. And I'm going to give it a try. We're going to shoot a couple videos like that, see if it's great. And if I'm happy with it, which I assume I will be, I think that'll be nice. Yeah, I would definitely have to. I don't think Reds are worth it these days, because like the Z Cam is basically a baby Red, and it's incredible. Granted, it's like micro four thirds and not a bigger sensor and stuff like that, but I've been super, super, super impressed. So hopefully we'll see how that goes. And I'm also probably going to buy a new computer as soon as it's available, and to really help with that ProRes stuff. Shooting in 6K ProRes will really, 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 really take a toll on even the best computer. And that's where I might finally actually switch my setup to doing something with, I might actually finally switch to Final Cut, because Final Cut is unbelievable with ProRes. ProRes and Final Cut, it's insane. You can literally run like 3 streams of 8K on the new Mac Pro, which is unbelievable. So, yeah. Exactly. Yes, I still do have all Canon glass. Everything is Canon glass in my world, even though I don't have a single Canon body anymore. Everything is still Canon mount, and I always just use adapters, Metabones or likewise. And that way I adapt my Canon glass, stick it on to either the Z cams or my Sonys or whatever. And someone asked really quick what I do for launch photography. On the pad, I do still have some Canon bodies. They're just like cheaper 40D, 50D camera bodies that you can get for $200 or $300 used. If I do that, I don't really do that anymore though these days, because I just don't find it that. I might still do 1 or 2 at like some big events, like maybe Starship or some of those other ones. I might still set up a camera or 2, but I'd rather focus on video and all that stuff than really try to do much with still cameras. Maybe I'll find something out. I would love to, if I could stick Z cams down at the launch pad and trigger them smartly. I'll talk to them someday. I would love to do something like that. That'd be amazing. And those things are awesome. Especially if I could start shooting 120 frames a second 4K at the launch pad. Oh, yes, please. So, yeah, as far as the Mac Pro, no, I don't think I'm going to be spending $27,000 on it. But I will be getting, yeah. I will be probably getting a Mac Pro, and I know there's obviously that's a hot debate. Every time it comes up in Discord, of course, everyone gets extremely opinionated on PC specs and stuff like that. I get it. Don't worry. You guys know me. I'm a researcher and all that stuff. But I am very much a happy member of the Macintosh ecosystem. And a lot of my apps and a lot of my stuff is developed solely for that. And I really enjoy it. My machines have always been very solid. OBS maybe is the exception to that rule. But yeah, the new Mac Pro is a beast with ProRes, and I shoot in ProRes, and arguably there will be no other machine that can compete anywhere near that. And when we're talking about rendering, it takes me, an hour to render a 1 hour long video right now, right? And I sometimes pre-render those, like the animations and stuff. If I can take that time and reduce it in half, that will pay itself off no matter what. And yeah. I do own a drone, and I would use a drone, but not anywhere near launches because I don't want to get taken to prison. Yeah, that would be awesome to have the slow-mo guys show up to a SpaceX launch. That would actually be incredible. You got me thinking now. Yeah, that would be awesome, actually. So that's kind of what's in the future. Like I said, you guys know I'm constantly tweaking, trying to make better content, and I really, really, really believe in this. Like, it's really funny. I was on a podcast when I was out in California. One of my friends runs a podcast aimed mostly at creators. It's called Black with No Cream. He interviews a lot of people on there all the time that do social media or do editing and do all these things. And we're really good friends, actually. He's like Beyonce's videographer, and he's also from Cedar Falls. He's just absolutely dominating everything. He's awesome. We're really good friends. We've been friends forever. And I was sitting there across the table from him explaining how I do things now on my channel. And he was just looking at me so confused. He's like, no one ever says this stuff. And I'm like, I just believe a lot more in quality over trying to crank out videos that might have like a shelf life, might be clickbaity, might be, something that's irrelevant in 3 months and changed in 3 months. Like, I want my stuff to be used in 5 years as a resource. That's what I care about. And I just kept telling him over and over and over that how quality is just the only thing that really matters. Because I want it to be that when people see any of my videos pop up, even if it's something they don't think they're interested in, I want them to know that they will be able to watch it front to back, learn something fun, add a new little tidbit. There's always going to be, like, for instance, that, what video was it? Even like I'm sad that the Rocket Lab video didn't perform very well just because it didn't have like SpaceX in the title really, although it did on the thumbnail. There were so many little fun stories like about the Corona satellites and about, the SpaceX's fairing recovery and stuff like that I really enjoyed that video. And I'm sad that it didn't perform as well as it did. Because it's really not performing well. But that doesn't matter to me. I'd rather, even if someone didn't think they were interested in Rocket Lab's recovery, now they know, and now they have all these other stories and other context to understand why Rocket Lab may or may not be able to do that. And I think that really, really matters. Slow-mo guys would be awesome. Update on the new studio. I'm still waiting to hear back from the developer. I did get, I got plans back. I need to follow up. Tomorrow might be an email day before I leave for Europe and just follow up on I'm so behind on communications. I need to mention too, not only was I behind in communications, but for those of you that ordered stuff on the store lately, if you don't know already, I try to make it pretty obvious on Twitter, but the store got slammed because of the Elon interview. And Starship. Between Starship and Elon interview, it was like our biggest week ever. Like, the week almost outperformed the rest of the year almost. And we were totally caught off guard. Not only that, my store manager had a baby, like 2 days before the interview. So, yeah. And it was his first child. Not that any child doesn't matter or something, but like, it was his first kid, all this stuff. And holy cow, they got so slammed. And he told his team to just keep their head down and crank out products and get it all ready, as opposed to try to like over communicate. And I think that may have been a little mistake. I think he probably should have just, because people were starting to email like daily and have like 4 emails going to the shop. And I didn't know about any of this. I did not realize they were that far behind. And so once I found out and once people started telling me this, I was like, okay, that's like, ignoring an email once to get a product out there sooner makes sense when you have, I don't know, 100 or couple hundred orders or whatever it is. But so for those of you that are still waiting on things, thanks for your patience. You obviously have, everyone, the orders are just going out as quickly as they can. And they also are working on moving their shop. It's just like the worst time. I was in there when I was down in California. I stopped in the shop, made sure everything's going well. They are floor to ceiling, literally boxes like falling into aisles because they are slammed, absolutely slammed. Yeah, they're just in this tiny little place and they're working on moving to a place that's 10 times bigger. So a lot of big updates. So yeah. That's true. I could put a banner on the site. On what site? Yeah, that's true. I probably should be doing more things like in the store that say like, thanks for your patience and stuff, because but at the same time, I kind of want him to do that. Like I want Andrew to take care of that stuff. But I think he just kind of had his head in babyland for a little bit. Yeah, there was a person that was very, very, I don't get it. Like she told me on Twitter that she is taking it out on me personally. Like that her delay in shipment, she took out on me personally. It's like, why would you tell me that? Like, why would you say that? She goes, you're not Amazon. You need to realize that when something goes wrong, I take it out on you. Like, wait. That should be even more of a reason for grace, is because you know me and you like care more about like supporting me than you do about timeliness of an order. Like timeliness of an order matters. And trust me, I'm on it hardcore and trying to make sure that they are prioritizing those orders. But like that should give you more grace. Like I would never say that to someone ever under any circumstance. I'd be like, listen, I know you're not Amazon. That's why I'm willing to be like, I understand that life pops up and sometimes babies happen and an interview with Elon Musk happen at the same time. Like, jeez. Oh, man. Yeah. Classic Karen. So that's that. What else is there? Yeah, those are the biggest changes. I'm really trying. I'm actually really looking. I was, to be honest, I was not looking forward to Europe because it felt like I've been traveling so much. It just seemed like way too much, right? Like it just seemed like I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to sit home and maybe catch up on some sleep and maybe just do things, catch up on TV stuff, like just be a normal person, hang out with my family and stuff. I did get a lot of family hangout and I got back in time last week to be able to celebrate my sister's birthday. And then it was my niece's birthday, and then my niece's birthday party. So like I spent a lot of time with my family this last week, which is really, really good and really important to me. So I was looking forward to. So luckily I got caught up on most of that stuff. But Europe now, with it being a vacation, that's why I'm like I'm gonna do a meetup, but only like on a personal level. Like I do enjoy. I get personal enjoyment out of meeting the people, especially the people that support me, because there's a really strong connection there. And I think it's really important for me to actually know people, I just really value that. So I do want to do meetups in person, but I'm not going to be working when I'm in Europe. I'm going to be taking pictures for the fun of it, for the art of it, just like I used to back in the day, and just kind of return to those roots. And I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome. I'm not even nerding out over gear. Like I'm bringing the most basic gear, period. Like I am bringing a drone, actually. That'll be kind of fun. And I don't know where I'll be able to fly it. It looks like Germany actually has pretty decent, pretty reasonable laws for flying drones under like 500 grams or something. I don't remember what it is. But yeah. Let's see. Do you know how the Elon interview start? Wait, but how did that interview Elon start again? Okay, so here's the deal with the Elon interview. I'll give you guys the rundown on those behind the scenes. Again, this kind of stays here. I've been asking the people that I know on the communications department at SpaceX for an interview with Elon for a year, basically saying like, I would love the chance to be able to sit down with him because I really think our conversation could be genuine and rooted in things that he's interested in and not just like, you know, something, I don't know, whatever. And they were always like, yeah, like, we'll see type of thing. And finally, literally the week leading up to the event, I got a text message. I was just like, I can't promise you anything, but if you can, like, or would you be interested in a little bit of time with Elon? And I was like, duh, like, you know that. And he goes, again, he's like, I can't promise you anything, but maybe be prepared just in case. And even leading up to the day of the event, I still did not know. And so I came prepared. That's why Michael and I had all of our gear ready and all that stuff. And at the event, he goes, afterwards, just meet me by the stairs. I go, okay. And so that's when I knew, like, once he told me that, I was like, sounds good. So I really didn't know until about the beginning of the event, basically, for sure that it was going to happen. And yeah. Oleg, yeah, I have to keep DMs disabled on Discord because I had them enabled for a little bit and my inbox was just so flooded that it was just, I just cannot keep up with that. And that's what Discord is for. Like Discord, and that's one of the big reasons I don't think people understand. I don't mean to make Discord a paywall, but it's intended to make sure that the quality of our community is people that are like actually invested in the community enough to care about the preservation of it and its quality and its conversation and the actual community being of a high standard. If you just have an open Discord channel, it can be a nightmare. Like it can be an absolute nightmare. It'll end up being similar to a standard YouTube, live stream. And we don't want that. We want dedicated people that are excited about spaceflight and learning and the community aspect of that. That's what Discord is for. And because of that, I can't have DMs open either because it just turns into all the however many people are in our Discord channel end up at some point DMing. And that's like, I want that. If I could have a full-time job just answering people's DMs and a full-time job just trying to answer emails, that's already my life, like trying to answer all that stuff. I'm terrible at it. That's why when I get Michael to start doing video stuff, I might also at the same time really soon here, maybe hire an assistant too. Like a full-time assistant, because I'm getting bad at it and it's either taking away from video time or it's taking away from personal life or it's taking away from productivity. Yeah. And or it's getting ignored and then ruining opportunities and ruining relationships too. So like, it's just getting a little bit out of hand. So, yeah, they are garbage fires. Then let's see. And then the other thing is, okay, so then with Jim, I did not know about Jim until an hour and a half before the event, or an hour before the event. I was literally heading to the event, and I got an email from a SpaceX communications director that said, hey, call me. And I said, okay. I called her, and she goes, Bridenstine wants you to interview him. And I was like, he wants me to? I'm like, I don't have anything. I literally didn't bring a camera. I was so excited about just going to this event and just taking a phone and just like tweeting some stuff and just being there just to be there and be present. I had no plans on doing any kind of media. So when she told me this, I kind of panicked. I'm like, I don't have any gear at all. And I ended up shooting it on my phone. And luckily I actually had another phone on me. I actually had that one as a backup. I switched phones very recently. And I didn't sell my old one because I still had some things that I'm like, I don't know if like my two-form authentication, it's hard for me to transfer all that stuff for some reason. And so, yeah, I wanted to make sure I had all that stuff set up and everything. So I just kept it as a spare. So I used that on the table as a microphone because it'd be a lot closer than the camera up on I did grab it. I was able to get a tripod from somebody. So, yeah, I do need a personal assistant. Jamie is the director of, the producer of SpaceX. Jamie actually is not on the communications team at all. Jamie Higginbotham, for those of you that watch tomorrow. And, yeah. No, we don't need to crowdfund the PA. Wait, are you saying like crowdsourcing it? Where multiple people would be the PA? That sounds like a nightmare. I need someone. I actually have two people in mind that would be really, really good personal assistants. Actually, one of them is Lisa from Tomorrow. Lisa Stojanovsky, those of you that follow Tomorrow. She's currently got a job, and it'd be hard for me to maybe be able to hire her, but she would be And I don't need a personal assistant. I don't need an assistant that someone that just can write emails or things like that. Like, I need someone that understands my life and the communication aspect with spaceflight and all that stuff. Lisa would be literally the perfect human being for that. So, yeah. No, and I don't, at this point, guys, just for your reference, like, financially, we don't need to worry about it. Like, everything's going, you guys are unbelievably, like, way too generous. And so that's why I've been already trying to delegate a lot of, like, I have upped my Patreon support for a lot of channels and stuff, just because I know how drastically that can change. I did not expect anything like this a year ago, even. Like, I remember a year ago being like, I definitely, like, for me, it's not about money. I mean, I was doing really well as a photographer, so I had a big savings, like, set aside to be able to pursue this. And that's kind of why when I started pursuing Everyday Astronaut full time, it's because I had a savings. And at the time, you know, my wife at the time, she had a stable job that would at least keep it so we didn't just, like, sink, right? And like, now the PA thing, the PA and hiring Michael actually have nothing to do with money. They have everything to do with a workflow. And, like, if I hire Michael, trying to structure that and actually making it worth his time, worth my time, and how we fit together editing and co-managing projects is actually a logistic nightmare a little bit. And we've talked a lot about this, like the whole Elon thing. I had him edit the intro while I worked on something else, and then putting those files together. We're still really bad at that. And I'd love for him to be able to do more things. It's just a matter of trying to figure out that balance, right? So, yeah. Yeah, well, as you know, again, because it's not about money, that's why I do things like fly down to Mississippi to film with an Aerospike engine. I literally flew me and Michael out there just to get that intro shot with the Aerospike and get up there and get B-roll of an Aerospike engine. Yes, that cost a lot of money, but I think it's worth it. I think it's totally worth it in the long run to have better quality and new exciting images. I'm not... And upping the quality of camera gear all the time. Like, it matters to me. It really matters to me. And the money thing doesn't. You know, money doesn't matter. To me, it's like, it's time management at this point. Time is way more valuable to me than money. And that's where I definitely think if I get the right person as a PA, and if I get the right person to help with video editing, time can be much better off. And I know I need to do that. Yeah. But I don't want a sponsorship from anyone like SpaceX or anything. I don't want to be beholden to anybody, and I don't want any pressure to say things or do things that wouldn't be objective, right? You know, that also matters to me. So I don't need sponsorships. The cookie one was like the one that it just seemed to fit the channel, and I don't really utilize my social media channels that much. Like, I don't utilize Instagram and Twitter that much, and like to do sponsored posts at all. You'll notice I might do like 3 a year on Twitter or Instagram or something, but I just barely do any of that stuff just because I don't care. I just want to make videos. I want to make exciting videos that I care about, that are interesting topics, that break down the complexities of rocket science. Like, that's what I like to do. That's what I find pleasure in. And luckily for me, other people enjoy that too, you know, and seeing the community come together and the way that it's come together has just been like, literally, I've said this probably every time we do one of these live streams, that it like almost makes me cry. And when I tell people about like how we formed this community, like, they're always just like, I can't believe it. I'm like, I can't either. It's amazing. It's like the coolest thing ever. And it makes me really, really excited. It gives me a lot of faith in humanity, because, you know, the internet can be such a disgusting place, but then seeing us all come together over something as cool as spaceflight and making an awesome product really means the world to me. Yeah, it's hard to be against space cookies. Yeah. Yeah, so Trevor, you're right. And Joe and I have very different business models, period. And trust me, I love Joe, obviously. Like, we're really good friends. And we've talked about this, but we have Very, very, very different business models. Obviously, he sticks to an upload schedule and is throwing out a video twice a week, basically, and supports most of his videos through, integrated sponsorships. I just never feel like those really are relevant to what I'm talking about. I don't really feel like they're... If someone's paying YouTube Premium, for instance, to get rid of ads, like my YouTube account is a YouTube Premium account. I don't want to see ads. So when I already am paying, $10 a month to watch ad-free content, and then I'm still seeing ads because people baked them into the videos, that sometimes gets a little annoying. And that's why I'll do it once a year. I think so far I've done 3. I've done one Audible in 2017. I did Turo last year, and this year it's going to be Hilton Doubletree. That's enough for me. That's plenty. Yeah. YouTube ad revenue is very bad, but yeah. At the same time, the Aerospike video, because of the long retention rate and because of the multiple ad placements, does help a lot. That video is performing very well, and I think long term, we're talking years, that video might make 10 grand. It might, after a long enough time, might make a very, very substantial amount of money. And I'm in it for the long game. I'm not in it for the quick money, the quick blah, 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 blah. I'm in it for the long term. In 3 years, that video might still be putting out 5,000 views a week or 5,000 views. Right now, even some of my older videos, guys, it's kind of crazy. Let me see here. Some of my older videos are still at, what are they at? Thousands of views a week still. So how SpaceX and Boeing will get astronauts to the ISS is actually kicking butt right now. And it's getting over 5,000 views a day still because it's an evergreen video, a fairly evergreen video, and I might change the title to how SpaceX and Boeing get astronauts to the ISS once they launch each of them. But that video it started off kind of slow, and because it's more evergreen and more topical, it stayed very good. Also, SpaceX Raptor engine is still around 5,000 a day, which is nuts. That's nuts to me. And then also the new Glenn video is at 2,500 right now, a day. And that's just crazy. Other channels don't really have that. And I always think that's, yeah. I like talking shop. I like being transparent and telling people what's worked for me and what matters to me, because I think a lot of people do have this here's the thing. When I started YouTube, the gut feeling out there was that, don't do a long video. Don't do my first video ever was 2.5 minutes because I was afraid to make anything longer than 3. My next video I put out, I made it under 10 because I was there's no way I can have a video over 10 minutes, and I think it was 7.5 minutes. And I tried really hard to cut it down. And everyone was telling me, you got to upload often and keep it short. And come to find out, I think the exact opposite is what I believe is true. With YouTube, that's the beauty of YouTube, is you can watch it whenever you want. You can watch however much of it you want. You can come back to it whenever you want. You don't need an upload schedule because it's not airing on television where someone has to sit down and be okay, 9 o'clock on, it doesn't matter anymore. And those viewership habits are changing. People had to be programmed out of television and out of that idea. But also, I have this theory that you will never unsubscribe. You might unsubscribe from someone if they haven't posted for 2 years. But in general, you'll never unsubscribe from someone because they're not posting often enough. But the reverse is almost certainly true. There's people where, you might have really liked what they were doing at one point, but they just kept cranking out stuff and filling up cluttering your feed with a video every 2 days. And, after a couple times where you're I didn't really care for that video. That video kind of sucked. Man, this one's kind of garbage too. And soon you're screw this person. I don't like them anymore. They're putting out too much stuff. I don't like it. I think that's a bigger fear that people need to realize, you don't need to just put stuff out there to satisfy your audience. They're going to be there when you're done. That's why the when it's done mantra is so true for me, because I'm not going to rush a video out because I haven't put a video out in a long time. So what? Because I'm working hard on this. I don't want to rush it. I want it to be right and done. And I don't get why people, when is that myth going to end? That you have to upload once a week. You have to. No, there's millions of creators out there that can fill those time slots. And if everyone produces good, high quality content, there's still going to be plenty of stuff to fill your time. You don't need to produce. I don't know. That's me. There we go. Exactly. Yeah, the that's exactly right. See, and Rob, that's exactly right. Like, to me, I think that I'd rather have a high quality library that when someone does discover a video they like, they can look back and, most of the videos in the past year, especially like the past 365 days, probably from right now, have all been a very similar tightly integrated, tightly shot format where it feels they have this like especially I think New Glenn was probably a big turning point for me where the video quality really went up a notch. I stopped trying to put screen graphics next to my face and I just started putting like full screen graphics, full screen animations, full screen like side-by-side comparisons up a lot more. And I think that really was a turning point for me where I realized I don't know why I thought this. I think it's just what I saw on YouTube a bunch was you have your face up like all the time because you're a talking head and you have to have your face in front of the camera. And therefore, like, you have to put stuff over here while you're talking. Kind of like, well, Joe does that. Like, where he'll have his face and he'll have a little video. Like, I realized, like, I would rather just fill the screen with the information. I used to have, like, probably 80% my face, 20% graphics. And I've basically flipped that script now. It's more like 20% face and 80% graphics and B-roll. But, yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that you guys approve of it. Yeah. I really... Yeah. I'm glad that you guys approve of that because to me that's what matters. Quality over quantity. And as I'm really working on trying to not also... Because I can crank out a video once a week if I need to. But I really get too stressed. And I just don't need to do that. I don't need to be working 90 hours a week just for some arbitrary YouTube and like hoping to like be successful on YouTube. In my opinion, I'm 10 times more successful on YouTube than I ever imagined I would be. I need to be happy with that and just continue doing what I believe is the right thing to do, which is just really making good quality stuff. And that's where you guys come in. And that's why this whole entire thing has been so successful. That being said, guys, guess what time it is? It is time that we pop on over to the other stream. So I actually have a separate stream. Don't forget to pop over there. We're going to do some Kerbal. There's been a new Kerbal update, and I'm really excited for it. So I'm going to get that set up. I have to do the bathroom break, and yeah. Yes. Joe, yeah, I have, every time we talk about Specific Impulse, I do an animation that I did for the Raptor video now. I probably could do a whole video about Specific Impulse and about the best ways to do it. Nuke Man, I'll answer this real quick and then we'll move on. I used to wear the suit. The suit was an art project. The suit started off as me as a photographer taking whimsical photographs on Instagram and on Reddit. Those pictures, I think I had 20 different front page Reddit posts of me in the spacesuit as everyday astronaut. It started off as an art project. It was art. In making the art project, I really, really, really fell in love with all these little like tidbits and all these factual, history, all these little crazy things that were blowing my mind. And I wanted to teach more people that. And in that process, then I was like, oh, I should just go to YouTube finally. Like I eventually realized after, Twitch and all these different things, I could try making YouTube videos. I kept wearing the suit because I thought that was like my brand was the suit.
Sorry, I can't.
Stop. I thought the brand was my suit. Come to find out the suit was not my brand. The brand is like bringing space down to earth for everyday people. It's the technical stuff being broken down in an easy and fun way. And yeah, so for me, I took it off as a comfort choice. And even it's the same thing as like the making too many videos thing. Like I'll never have someone click on my channel and be like, I'm not listening to this guy because he's not wearing a spacesuit. But the opposite might be true. Where I got this comment all the time, like, why is this guy wearing his pajamas? Why is he wearing that bleeping bleepity bleep swearing at me and all this stuff? Like, this guy's I can't stand how annoying this guy is in that stupid spacesuit. He's sweating, all this stuff. Like, I realized I'm easily turning more people off to my videos by wearing a spacesuit than by just being myself and hanging out. And I like it a lot better now. The tone has changed a little bit too because I used to be like very kid friendly. I still think being kid approachable is great and very important education wise. But I actually just feel like I'm way more myself now. Like just being still lighthearted and maybe throwing in a couple fun things, but like not trying to be funny and not trying to like be over the top. It just feels a lot better. Okay, let's do this, guys. Aerodynamics are funky in the new update. Uh-oh. 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 I don't have Catalina, so don't worry. All right. I'm going to pop over to the other live stream. I'm just going to stop this one right now, and I'm going to pop over to that one, so you'll find me in just a second. All right. Bye, guys.